Great. Awesome. Welcome everyone to Changemaker TV. We've got another fun episode with the beautiful Hayleigh McDonald. So great to have you here, babe.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Hayleigh and I met through a program that we were doing last year. Last year? Yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
It feels like so long ago, but it was kind of in the beginning of last year. And since then, I've seen what Hayleigh's been stepping into, and it's been so incredibly inspiring. And I think her message and her story will resonate with so many of you. And so this is why I'm so excited to have you here, Hayleigh, and for everyone listening and watching to be able to take away from our conversation. So Hayleigh is an inspiring international speaker and author and a mum, which is probably one of the most challenging jobs in the world. So, hats off to you on that. And also a business owner. And we would really love to hear a little bit about your journey and how you've gone from where you started to where you are now. So let us hear, maybe the abbreviated version, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go back 6 years ago, 30 years old, pregnant at 120 kilos with my second son, Carter, and it was just, I gave birth and there was just something that clicked inside of myself. I wasn't happy with who I was and where I was having a newborn baby. Yeah. And I saw some photos and I looked so unhappy and so thick and strong, and it was just full-on photo. So I started on the health and fitness journey for myself. It was really lighthearted. And then kind of fast forwarded, lost 42 kilos. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. And then continued on that, became a certified personal trainer for my own education, and hit building up a really fantastic transformation weight loss programs for mums in Christchurch, New Zealand. And then it kind of started getting to that point where I was cycling, I was pushing myself, I was running on adrenaline and not taking notice of what was happening around me, like my children, my husband at the time, the house, everything like that. I was just like head down, getting it done and sacrificing everyone around me. So I moved through that, separated from my husband at the time, which was massive, and my 12-year-old at the time and my youngest boy. Then it kind of clicked to me that I was tolerating certain things in my world. So I really got into that area where I was able to come deep in myself, and with the course program, we've done that, I've done that, and it's been able to bring me to inside of who I am. So coming really inwards versus the exterior, the external, the environmental areas. So it's been 6 years on the making, and I keep looking back and reflecting, and it's amazing. But here, it's incredible to be in this space as well.
Oh, yeah, I bet. And so let's talk about what you mentioned around things that you're tolerating. Like what got you present to that in terms of, and what were those things that you were tolerating?
So I was tolerating, I remember watching some certain YouTube videos. So it started with the weight loss and then a bit of personal development and business development. And then saw a couple of clips, and I was like, the question was like, what am I tolerating? What am I tolerating? And I was tolerating what was going on in my relationship at the time, and there was no communication. What can I say? I was a bitch because I wasn't dealing with my stuff, and I was dumping it on my husband at the time, which he's a great guy. And I was tolerating the words that were going through my mind. I was tolerating driving this car to work every day. There's so much that integration, tolerating that glass of wine to a bottle a night to numb myself out, and just tolerating life. That's what I thought life was.
Yeah.
At that time, yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm sure the people that are watching this will be able to resonate with exactly that, tolerating not having the relationships that you want, tolerating maybe driving a car that's whatever, right, not working well, got problems with it, tolerating being in the space that you're in and not really being present to what's going on, and then finding ways to numb it out. Yeah. And just not dealing with that. It's so common. And so I think it's a really great question, which obviously helped you, you know, to be able to then go, yeah, what am I tolerating? What am I putting up with that I don't want in my life right now? And a great inquiry. So then as you started to inquire into that, what happened then? You know, was that where you said, I need to do some work on myself? Is that what led you then into doing the development?
It did, and it was NLP. So, with a beautiful lady in Christchurch. I didn't know what I was moving into at this stage, and we worked through some beliefs and stuff, and that's when I could manage to bring a conversation in with my former husband and felt the shift internally. Yeah. And that was like, and it's happened so gracefully, the separation, and it was the moment of feeling it in my body. My heart literally dropped, and I knew it was the right choice to make, and it just rolled that way out. And that was really when the point is that you can get out of your head and into your body and trust yourself and feel it from here.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I think NLP is beautiful for being able to get people really connected and to what's going on unconsciously, and, you know, how we're using our minds and so forth. And obviously that was able to help you and get you on that kind of journey and path, and to be able to then get clear around what it is perhaps that you wanted and what it was empowering you. I think that's the biggest thing. It sounds like that was then able to empower you to go and have a conversation.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. The conversation was brought up, and then I stayed in that conversation. I would have used to just walked away from that conversation, but it was brought up. I confronted it, and it rolled out that way. Yeah. I think looking back now, that's actually quite tearful, because the NLP I have now just like realizing myself is that the manifesting came up then too, because I was coming out to the beach continuously. And remembered now that I sat on the beach one day, I looked up and I was like, I want to move to the beach. And it happened within 2 weeks later. So Thank you, because that's just like reflection now.
Yeah, wow. Powerful woman, right? If you can manifest that, what else is possible?
That's getting out of your own way, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So then confrontation, like confronting it, that's something too that I've personally been embracing, and what most people will go away from, you know, run away from, because it's tough, it's hard. So when you mentioned that you confronted it, and then you kind of got present to what was going on and in your body, can you talk a little bit more about that? How did you do that? What did you go through to? Was it just kind of acknowledging what you were feeling? Like, well,
I feel that I tuned in to listening to the other in that, and myself at the same time, and breathing through it, because when it took place, that moment that I just knew, like it was an incredible feeling. That's the trigger to know to keep moving for myself. Like I've never felt, and I had never felt anything like that, of such a powerful movement inside.
So in the past, would you just kind of shut it off and not allow yourself to feel?
So the windows, I would have moments, the chapter in my book is called Window of Belief. So there'd be little pockets, little windows of moments that I would hear myself, and I would close that down. Yeah. So it would be this really like, oh my gosh. And then I'd say, oh no. And then all the negative ones would stack on top. All my beliefs would go on top of that precious moment.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I like that. Window of belief.
And to be, when that moment of that decision in my body happened, I walked away, and I could have easily allowed it all to come back, and I was probably working through that and processing. Yeah, that's beautiful, eh? I'm just like listening to myself saying that. That's awesome.
It is, yeah. So, and then when you're able to feel into that, did you feel just within that process that that was kind of part of the healing and part of the being able to then let it go?
So, yeah, I think it's a shift that's released the marriage, released myself from what I was feeling at the time, and it was just a shift into the next part of life for myself and what's happened since then and moving forward.
Awesome. And I know that you've taken some really big leaps forward from where you were with your prior business and what you're moving to now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So the transition's pretty raw at the moment. It's just, so the book and being a published author that's coming out, that there is a massive step when you've got your beliefs that you weren't good enough, you didn't do good at school, working through all that.
Like and my story,
Also being seen. To be honest, to be seen can be like twisting, wrenching, isn't it? To put yourself out, because you're the only one that can do it.
Exactly.
And it's definitely, so being my own superhero on this, transitioning into speaking, it's for humanity to, we've got a choice.
Yeah.
And it's in us. We've got it already in us. It's just exposing and uncovering the greatness that we hold.
Yeah, exactly. Being my own superhero. I love that. I love it. Because it's so true. Like you said, no one else can make the decision for us. No one else can take that leap for us. It's coming back to us. So what drives you to bring that out, that superhero within you and show that?
Judy, I think I'm a bit of a badass. I've been trying to avoid this part of me because it's got me into not very good situations in the past, but now, to be honest and be fair, it's like part of me I've got to accept.
Totally.
And totally. I want just for women to rise for who they are, and men too. Don't get me wrong, absolutely for everyone in humanity. But I just really feel that women are superheroes, mums, business owners, if no children. We're here. We just, it's just showing up and creating. And I'm not too, I don't know what's the future holds. And it's just going with alignment and flow, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's one of the big things that's very inspiring. Hayleigh's stepping into the unknown, and it can be a very scary thing. Most people in general will stay where it's safe, will stay in the known. And what I see with you stepping into this new leadership role, inspiring, people around the world globally and in your new business and so forth, that it is, so brave. And I guess just repeating what I said, stepping out into the unknown. How was it? Just accepting that? Was it just embracing that? Just getting really clear around what it was that you wanted? What was the thing that made you go, this is it, this is now, this is the time? Because a lot of people want to do that, but they don't. They just sit there thinking about it. And I think
that's what I've been doing. I've been holding on to it too tight.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Training was helping. Yeah, the personal training was a level of helping women, but it wasn't deep enough. And just going through the last year on this deep dive and coming back so far into listening to my heart and not taking on the noise on my external world, I just feel there's a purpose and there's a willing behind it, and there's my soul, and I feel like there's a real pull.
Yeah, good.
To show up as myself, and that's actually that's a little bit tougher because when you're around people, you can kind of pull traits from people without knowing it. But I really want to come back to what's going to drive myself to keep moving forward and stay motivated.
Yeah. So in terms of that, what I kind of looping back around, because I said what drives you, what motivates you. You said that I'm a bit of a badass. I love that. And I think that it's quite common that we have, I think everyone has this side within themselves, right? However, there could be fear around expressing that part of us. We're very good at using that badass part of us on ourselves, like beating ourselves up.
Yeah, punishment.
Yeah, like sabotage,
Yeah.
chop myself down. And however, there's a lot of fear around expressing that outward. There's a lot of people pleasers out there, people that just want to, go along with the flow, or agree with everyone else, or do what others say that they should do, and so forth. And so it looks like for you, it's then being about able to accept that part of you.
Accept myself, to step out from what I've observed with conformity.
Yeah.
And certainly not be the 9-to-5 person that I once was.
Yeah.
And it doesn't serve me.
No, not at all.
So that's my badass in me. But I need to accept that side to keep rising.
Definitely. Yes. Love on it.
Yes.
And so it sounds like there's been, a lot of work. And I think being able to come through what you've, work on the things and come through what you've been through, it has required a lot of self-reflection, going internal, really discovering yourself again. And what is it that I want? Because I see this a lot as well when I work with people, a lot of fogginess around what it is you actually want. And that is crucial. And I don't know, just from this conversation, what I'm hearing is, because you've done that work, you've done that, spent the time on you, really uncovering the layers of what it is that you want. This is what's led you now to stepping forth in that. Would that be accurate, just based on, what you've shared?
Absolutely. And stepping out and accepting that I am a different person.
Yeah.
Because we do change and we evolve and grow. We don't just stop growing at 20 or 7 years old or 20. We keep going, and to accept that I'm changing, and some are not changing around me.
Yeah.
So not coming from a judgmental place, more of it observed, but
Yeah, and how have you found that? Because, when you change, people see you as a certain, they have a perception of who you are, and then you're evolving and changing, yet they almost don't want you to, because then you become unfamiliar and it's not how they knew you before. Have you experienced a bit of this, and how have you been able to then move through that when you've got that outside influence of people not knowing who you really are now as that new, evolved, changed woman?
I hold a lot of compassion for myself, because I know where I'm heading to. I know what the bigger picture is for myself.
Yeah.
Actually, I've had a few tears, about an hour prior to this, because I watched something on Facebook with Oprah, and she just, we're going to disappoint the brave woman, and brave men are going to disappoint people because they're stepping out, but it's not about you. And that hit home with, a family member, and it's about, for myself, it's really raw right now, that question.
Yeah, wow, that's horrible.
Yeah, it is. It's really raw.
I didn't write it down fast enough. Say it again.
So the quote from Oprah.
Yeah.
It's on my Facebook page. So the brave ones will disappoint.
Yeah.
It gives me shivers now.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
And is that it? The brave ones will disappoint?
So nice and short.
Yeah, for sure. And so maybe accepting that in some way we will, right? But it's not our problem.
Thank you. I think the closest people to you and this change is the getting your mind around, say if it was my mum, a mother, then, you've known your mother as your mother as a title and a label.
Yeah, for sure.
We choose our parents. I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
For the lessons learned.
Totally. I believe that too,
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I was reflecting on today, and I think a great way to also move forward into that, kind of like what you've said, acceptance and compassion for self, and also love, rather than focusing on the fear or the judgment of somebody else, but just coming from the love of, that's just how they know me. It doesn't mean that that's only who I am, or that's all that I have to be, or whatever, and loving them for where they are in their world and their life, and that's okay. And knowing that it's not about you, and not taking that on. Of course, it does require, some hard skin, tough skin, but again, I think always when we come from love and choose that's a great way of being able to move through it.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of love. Sounds a bit corny and cliche.
I think forgiving yourself as well around it, and letting it go, and forgiving the other person that's involved in it.
Totally.
And allowing it to be there and feel it.
Yeah, I really love that topic of conversation around, which is forgiveness. And I think that's, as you've said, so key. I'm sure you've worked on it yourself personally, on forgiving yourself and forgiveness of others, and as I have. And that's where we can unlock so much. Holding on to resentment or shame or blame or whatever it is doesn't serve us in any way. Cool. Wow. Some great areas of conversation. And so what's your biggest motivator or driver? Like, why? I kind of asked you a little bit again, but I want to ask again. I don't know if we really got it. What is your why? Like, what drives you and motivates you?
What drives me and motivates me is legacy, to change for my children, but to change my bloodline from all the beliefs that have been built through my grandma, great-grandma, all of that through ancestors, and be that pivotal change.
Love
for
it.
Voice, for speak, for women, and for my boys to change direction as well, and actually break what has been happening in our bloodline.
Love this. Love it. That's powerful. Yeah. Because a lot of individuals and families will continue along and just keep carrying out the same. And great. That's big. Up to big stuff in the world. I love it. So what's been through this process the biggest challenge for you?
Biggest challenge? Staying committed to myself through the real breakdowns. When you can have some particular thoughts when you're in the mud of a breakdown, and these are quite, I didn't realize how deep we were going into ourselves or into myself with this. And there's times where giving up was an option on the plate, or committed, and looking back and feeling it now while I'm saying it is just learning and realizing the commitment.
Yeah, indeed. And so in terms of that, because I think this is a game changer when you can commit, and not just commit but go all in, totally raising that level of commitment. Any tips on how you did that? It's like the big secret out there, how do you get your commitment from here to here? Is there an answer? Is there one way? I don't know.
No, we're so unique, aren't we, in our way, and it's upon yourself to find the right mentor or the right program, or that really resonates, isn't it? And that you are committed to a change in your life as well. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds like it's almost just a decision, you know. It sounds really easy, and it's not necessarily, but it's a decision to
you decide, don't you? You decide, and I'm pretty sure for myself, it rolled out quite differently than I ever imagined. So I didn't know at the time when I first went to Bali Game Changer Live that was going to be the pivotal point.
Yeah.
I got there and I wasn't sure how I got there.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of taken it from there. But you set your intention that you want change, and you're calling it in.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't know how it will appear.
Did you feel that each step of the way, as you've gone through more and more, that your commitment levels risen with that? Like when you were in Game Changer Live, were you fully all in, totally, 100% committed to what it was that you were doing at that time, and then you went into the next program? Were you giving it, the 100% commitment through each step of the way, or?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not being really honest with that.
Yeah, me too.
Bali, I went there and I just went there. So open-minded, open heart, open body. And then last year for the first quarter of the year, I wasn't playing 100%. I was playing like 40%, but that's how I felt. But now that you can look back and reflect, it's unmeasurable.
Yeah.
To be really fair, because I feel cleaned out of stuff, but then it still comes in, and I'm still taking care of it.
Yeah.
And still moving forward.
Yeah. So in terms of creating where you are right now through everything that you've been through, what's been the biggest thing that's helped you achieve the success that you have? If you could put it, one key thing? I mean, commitment may be part of it, but is there anything else?
Trust, true trust.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, so what's the question?
What's the biggest thing that's helped you achieve the success that you have through all of this transformation that you've been doing and putting out there in the world, and that's helped you to make the changes that you've made?
Is my consistency to show up for myself with my non-negotiables. So it's meditation, it's putting my feet in the ocean every day to be grounded, it's journaling, setting intentions daily, and really asking myself questions on a daily basis. And then continuing to ask myself, what do I need?
Yeah.
And that could be, if I have to cancel tonight, I'll be writing in my bedroom, listening to my emotions, letting it out, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And checking into myself, what's feeling stuck, what am I needing to do?
Good. Love
There's
that.
a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like it just comes up when it needs to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's requiring my attention. So
yeah, that's beautiful. And I think from many people that I get to speak to, rituals, having some kind of, like what you said, non-negotiables, and you do that, what a difference that makes for your day. And I love that you spoke about consistency, showing up for yourself consistently and keeping on, doing the work.
I mean, reflecting back, I wasn't a consistent person, and it was just running around in circles. But now with the consistency of self-care and doing those for myself, it's just up-leveling what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm a real hands person. I've just realised.
Discovering things every day. I love it.
Yes.
So what would be your last little words of wisdom for those people that are watching on how
the words of wisdom is block out the noise. Like, block out the noise and come back to who you are and listen into yourself.
Beautiful. Yes.
control your thoughts and then listen with your body.
Yeah, totally. Great. So for those guys listening, go out there and take some action around some of the things that you've heard, whether that be create your own little ritual and knowing the things that help you be grounded and give yourself what you need, just like what Hayleigh's been able to share that she's done. Very, very powerful. I have my own little set of rituals that I do as well. Again, I'm on board totally with that, to be able to give myself what I need. And then, like what Hayleigh said, blocking out, go in and really unlock some of the stuff that can be needing to come out so that you can create the change that you want in your life today. So awesome, Hayleigh. So let us know, when does your book come out, and how can those people watching, how can they find you?
So Woman and Who Influence comes out on the 27th of March, which is really exciting, on Amazon. So on my Facebook page, there's Hayleighs, my private, and Hayleighs business page. So both are available. Yep,
awesome. And we'll share those links and everything when we share this, so they'll be able to directly click on and find you. So please follow Hayleigh. She's doing, putting out some great content, and just an inspirational woman and mama, and we're so thankful for the time to be able to have this conversation, and for you and for everyone else that's listening. It's been beautiful.
Thank you. Yay.
My pleasure. So we'll see you all next time, and have an awesome day.